Well, Jeff, it was fascinating and insightful to hear from the leadership group as a whole yesterday. Today we've got some questions specifically for you, which I hope you can add to and paint more of a picture for supporters. We'll start with one from Clive Smout, who's given quite a sort of an interesting one about the Fosun objective as a whole. What is the end objective for Fosun with Wolves?
At the beginning, I think it's not so clear, to be honest. Just because we want to expand into football industry, we saw it kind of good target, and we can have a try. So it's not very important then, but it's a pilot project for us. But after 5 years, now it's like a partner. Just sometimes you have the emotional attachment to the club, and now it's already a part of Fosun and into the blood. So I can say the end objective is always stay with Fosun and as like a son or whatever. And no matter how good the performance is on the pitch, and we always try to improve the club. And one day maybe we will be the champions. One day maybe we don't do so well, but it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's hard to explain. Like a member from your family, what's your end objective about him or her? So it's hard to say. But I can say the emotional attachment is very strong, and so that's the reason I don't want to say too much about the final target or whatever. I think it's more about the connection between the two parties, and it's not like a normal commercial connection. Yeah.
I see. So a lot of fans talk about a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan. Has that changed slightly? Is it more of a family feel to this, where you're not putting numbers down?
Yeah, I think we always want to be the best. It's like my daughters. I want them to go to Oxford, Cambridge, to find a good job in the future, to have a good life. But maybe they cannot go to Cambridge, Oxford, right? Maybe they will fail in exams or whatever, but it doesn't matter. So it's like this. So of course, in 10 years, 20 years, we do hope Wolves to be the best in the world. That doesn't change. But it doesn't mean, okay, we are very anxious or we are very eager to make it. No, I think we have a dream, we have a plan. We are trying our best to make the plan realized. But in the process, it's more like you're cultivating your daughters, sons, just try to help them to be strong. But sometimes maybe they will never be there, but it doesn't matter. So that's kind of a feeling of balance like this.
I see. Yeah. Ian Edwards has said that Fosun has been great for Wolves, and many fans echo those sentiments. But why are Wolves good for Fosun?
I think first, of course, regarding the marketing view, I think because football is quite special, and it's not the same as all the other things Fosun are doing, and it's about the attention, the awareness from the world, and because every week we have some games, and lose or win, and it's always improved attention, and also because Wolves, and we have a strong presence in the world, even to the government, to the market, to all the fans around the world, and so Fosun becomes more famous and more popular. I think that's apparently one of the values to us. And also, sometimes I think doing business is a little bit boring, just for everyday commercial things. But football can provide the whole company, the whole group, and something fun and something interesting and very emotional. So I think also it's inside is also very interesting to improve the culture, the environment, and the atmosphere inside the whole group. So yeah, all the things I think it's harder to tell it one by one very logically, but I think it's about when you have a new baby, it's like then the new baby, of course, it has some value to you, right? But the value is hard to speak about with very sensible way. It's like emotional value to us.
A lot of supporters have spoken about the Chinese government's attitude to football and where they see football developing, and whether or not Fosun and what Fosun can do with Wolves is connected to that, and whether or not there is restrictions. You're led by the government in that sense?
No, I think it's not about the government, and so far we don't feel any pressure from the government. I think Wolves still a UK-based club, so we follow the law in the UK. So I think don't put too much tag onto the Chinese government, UK government. It's not football. It's not about politics, So I think so far we feel quite free.
They'll be pleased to hear that. James Batham is perhaps going to put you on the spot here. He says, what are the top 3 things you've learned during your time as chairman of the club?
You mean the bad things?
Well, yeah, good or bad. Good or bad.
Okay.
What 3 things stand out as things you've really learned and taken on board?
Yeah, okay. Maybe not good, not bad, but the first thing is just even after 5 years, I think I still don't know Wolves fans enough. At the beginning, I thought, okay, they are Wolves fans, but after 5 years, I doubt I know them enough. So sometimes I feel we still need to find the chemistry and between the fans and us. So that's the reason why I need to come out to say something to them, because I also watch the social media content, watch the fans forums, just so I know what they're thinking about. And but sometimes I think Wolves fans are a group of fans sometimes very contradicted. Sometimes sometimes they are very warm. They are very enthusiastic. Sometimes they are very negative, very down. But how to find the bridge? Because inside the club, as a leader or from the owner or from the board, I think we have to be very calm. And football is very emotional. We understand it, but any decision made from us should be based on a very calm mind. And so I think it's a really bad mistake if you are influenced too much by the outside pressure or emotional actions, whatever. Then you will do something wrong. So something I want to plead to the fans is just I cannot be so emotional.
Yeah.
I cannot come out to say something after a defeat or whatever. I was emotional for some days, but I try my best to calm myself down. And after the game and tomorrow, then I will be still very logical, sensible, whatever, because I cannot make mistakes and by emotional things. So that's the reason maybe they see Jeff, okay, always very, very cold, very cool. So actually in my heart, I am. But if you want to steer the ship into the right direction and avoid the icebergs, you have to be calm. So that's one thing I have learned. But I'm trying to find the balance and trying to find the chemistry. So the efforts now is a kind of gesture I want to show to the fans, and we want to speak, and we want to find the mutual understanding between us. So that's the number one. Number two, I think maybe I think it's not so easy. It's not so easy to get a team from a promotion team and to now maybe to go top 6, top 4. It's not easy. At the beginning, I thought from the championship to the Premier League is hard. It is hard, but it's not that hard compared with to break into top 6, top 4 constantly. Just so now it's a big challenge to me, and even compared with 3 or 4 years ago, and how to find a way to stay in the elite group in the Premier League for a long time. And I do think it's not only about the first team. It's about academy. It's about commercial power. It's about the fan base. It's about the people inside the club. They have to be very intelligent and working very hard. So that takes time. So maybe the next lesson I've learned is time is our friends. So time is our friend. So don't push. Don't be too anxious. Try to take the time, but to do something very solid, stable, and then the nice time will come. So that's the second one. Then, yeah, the third one, I have to say, I think we have a fantastic squad. Just the head coach, the team here, the staff here, they're doing a very good job. I think that's the squad and the structure, the team in the whole club I have never seen in the last 5 years. I think now I realized sometimes my plan or my thought 5 years ago. Do you remember in the press conferences here in Molyneux, right? So together with Walter Zenga, then something I said then, I thought it's not so good, just because it's quite naive. Now I thought, yeah, because after 5 years, even for myself, I have grown up. Yeah. I have learned a lot from football, and I have learned a lot how to run a club. So now I feel, one of the things I feel very glad is the people here, including like Max, Scott, whoever. Yeah. And the team here, they're very strong. And also we have found some real chemistry and balancing the football culture and also a corporate culture, and how to do something fresh and creative, and how to push everyone here to do something new. So in the past, maybe we just want to say, okay, we just want to get promotion, copy the same story like Leicester or whatever. I think that's a common story, but it's not so interesting. Now we are at a stage for the club and for the company to find something only belonging to ourselves. Only we can do it, not for others, but belonging to our identity, our gene, and our dream, our own dreams, and our own teams. Then we can find something to do and to achieve, and only for our own. So we don't want to copy any other clubs. So that's something different from 5 years ago. Maybe the fans don't know that, but the team here, we are talking about it every day. So it's not really about to realize the dream for the club. It's about for every team member here, from the coach to the staff to the senior guys here, to realize your own dream, what you want to achieve as a person in the club. So then collectively, and we will achieve the dream for the club, and eventually the dream or the target of the club will be different from any other clubs in the world. So that's the thinking in my mind. Yeah.
That's interesting that you reference Walter Zenga, because it feels like a lifetime ago that he was here and the club was on a very different path. Do you think one thing you would get across to supporters is the changes within that they don't see, as you suggested, and it's completely changed in terms of your thinking and where you want to take the club?
Yeah. 5 years ago, the Jeff was not the Jeff now, So I have totally changed, and I have totally refreshed, and now I think I'm a better myself, So yeah. But Walter Zenga or the press conference then 5 years ago, 4 years ago, they are good memories. But we only look forward. So I think we have a better team now, and we can do better, and also we can do more interesting things for the future. Yeah.
Looking forward, Mark Zammit has asked when you think the next chance for Chairman Guo to come over and visit and take in a match will be. Is that something on the horizon?
He's very keen to come, but the lockdown blocks a lot of things. So maybe only for next season. I hope he can come for the first game in next season. Yeah. He is a very keen fan for Wolves, and sometimes at night, 3 a.m., he's still watching our games, So I do hope he can come as early as possible. But we have to wait the lockdown to be lifted, and also between the two countries, we have to have some agreements. You can travel here for free, and you don't need to be quarantined for 2 weeks. So it takes time. Yeah.
He could stay at the ground for 2 weeks, maybe. You could set
No,
up
it's impossible. It's impossible for him. He's too busy. So only after the quarantine is lifted, maybe he can come. Yeah.
And like we were talking about yesterday, build that 5-star hotel in Wolverhampton. Maybe he can stay there instead.
No, I don't think Chairman Guo cares too much about that. Yeah, because he only comes to watch the game. Yeah, but of course, it's nice to have a good hotel. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Aj Chandler says, what's your favourite moment since coming to the club? I mean, there've been so many great moments. Is that a hard one to pick?
The best moment is the promotion. Just I still can remember everything on that day. I remember Brentford won the game. Well, I forgot. So all the players, the coach, were watching that game, and I was
Oh,
together
when you're in
with
the hotel.
yeah, I was together with them, and it's before the dinner.
Yeah.
I remember then. So when we knew the result, so just it's incredible. So yeah, sometimes just in the Premier League, it's we know the challenge is very high. We know it's very interesting games, but sometimes when you at a lower level and when you were climbing up the hills, you felt it's quite unforgettable. Yeah. So that is the best moment for myself. Yeah.
Similar to that, Aaron Hare has said, was there a single moment or a single match where you thought, this is it, Fosun have made the right decision to come here? Was there something that sort of reaffirmed your choice?
Not a game, but I think I remember vividly about a talk between me and some of the players, because I remember in the promotion season, in some period, and we lost 2 or 3 games in a row, whatever. Then we felt some pressure from Cardiff, from some other teams behind us. Then I had a meeting with Ruben, with Diego, with I forgot, maybe with Connor, and so Danny, maybe then. So we talk about it, and players do you feel the pressure? Then I remember they were all very confident. They were even more confident than me, because they are players. Maybe they are very positive about themselves. So I remember Diego told me, Jeff, don't worry, and we will get promoted, and because we have a very strong squad, and we are better players than the competitors. So yeah, eventually they're right. So I remember that moment. It teaches me a lot, and sometimes I feel the players know more than me, and because they are playing on the pitch, we don't need to be too anxious and too uncertain, too unsafe, because if the squad is there, they are confident. I have no doubt about it. So from that moment, I feel much better, because in the past maybe I'm a newcomer, I don't know the industry very well. Now I can find some synergy between me and the players, so I feel better. Then I feel okay. Now I'm really into the industry. So I remember that moment. So and I remember the players. They helped me to settle down, to calm down, and to be more confident. Yeah.
Fantastic. Martin asks if there's been a big cultural difference or challenge from working in China to working here in English football that you've had to overcome, or are there still challenges?
I think there are very many common things, because in the world it's not so different to run a club and here and there. But some things maybe in the UK is people are more gentle, more polite, more nice. So, but sometimes more conservative. Just people don't speak too straightforward, because I don't want to hurt you by my words, whatever. In China, people, especially between close friends, and they tend to speak more sharp, sometimes more harsh. Jeff, you should do this, right? So what it is. But here maybe, Jeff, you are doing very well, but and something maybe like this. So I think it's different. So, but in China, I'm used to the environmental atmosphere like this. So, but I do think maybe sometimes in a company, in a club, we have to be more straightforward, because it's about to push the people here to think more straight and to do something more sharp. And if we are too gentle and too nice, in a family it's okay, but in a company you have to have the the sharpness, yeah. So that's something I want to blend the culture from China and here and to find something to balance between a nice atmosphere and plus something maybe something about to kick your ass, right? Something
Yeah. Good turn of phrase.
Yeah.
Adam Sidaway asks if you've learned something about the football industry as a whole since coming here. Has anything in the football industry left a mark with you that's been different from your previous business interests?
It's very different. Football industry is kind of seen. I think the first thing is about emotion, and in every other business, I think the owners or the CEOs, the companies, they are doing things only for business reasons. They want to make money, right? They want to make profit. They want to have a good capital cap in the market, and they want to go to Wall Street, whatever. So all the same. And then they find a way to sell the products. They find a way to invent some new things to sell that to the consumers. But football is different because many of the owners they come here not for the profits. They are coming here for their own hobby or passion or whatever, So it mixes up the rational between commercial sense and emotional things. That's the tough part. And then if you are involved in the industry, inevitably you have to be impacted by that. So sometimes I feel I have to be very sensible, logical, reasonable, and as a businessman. But sometimes I have to be impacted by the friends around me and, Jeff, why you were defeated by Burnley by 4 goals? Come on, what happened, right? So that's the tough challenge to me, to find the balance. And the other thing is, like I said, some owners or some clubs, they don't want to make money, actually. They want to win trophies, right? So, and sometimes the competition is not so fair, and sometimes we are competing with a country like this, and the wealth is not comparable, and so it incurs more intelligence, or we need better work to compete with some giants, and in terms of the financial power. So that's another challenge. And but for a normal company, we just compete on products, whatever. So yeah. So, but basically, it's quite a blend here.
Yes. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Is that sense of the unfair fight with clubs who have this huge wealth? Is that a battle you'll never win then, or do you feel there is a way of taking that on and taking teams with that wealth on?
Yeah, it's hard to win, of course, but it's not impossible. The good thing is, the key product in football industry is not a real product. It's the players, So the players can change. A good player can become a better player. A better player can become a good player. So yes, you have the wealth to buy all the good players for now, right? So maybe you can pay 10 times the budget to buy a good player for now. But it doesn't mean he will be a better player than my player, maybe cheaper now in the future. So that's the art, or that's the interesting things inside football industry. So the only way to find the potential, to find a way to recruit players, the squad, and maybe not as good as the other competitors now, but they can be better than them in the future. That's the only way to compete with them. But because they are people, players are people, so they can change. So it's more about development, education, training, and how to make them better. It's just give you some analogy. It's like you have a school, maybe a new school in a local area without so much fame, credential, so you can only recruit maybe some students from a poor family, maybe not so much background, and the education before that is not so good, whatever. but to compete with Cambridge, Oxford, or a very good high school, wherever, of course it's hard, right? It's because all the parents will think, I want my children to go there. But 10 years later, maybe we can use our own efforts to cultivate, to develop the poor kids, then they can become elites. Then from there on, we'll be at the same level as them. So that's a kind of, maybe not so good analogy, maybe.
No, I take your point. It's an interesting analogy. I take your point.
Yeah.
Thomas Manley talks about the impact of not having fans at the ground. You've watched it a year now of football played behind closed doors at Molineux. What impact has that had?
It's huge. I think our playing style or the nature of the club, it's really about fans. You know, for some club, maybe fans will impact the score negatively, but here in Wolves, and it's always a positive impact. So our full house or Molineux will be very, very unique, and also to give us an advantage for every game. So it really impacts the performance on the pitch. And I do know also the players, they needed the fans to come here. And I go to every game, and without the fans, I feel it's like a kind of training game, you know, because it's hard to play and to watch on the pitch without the shouting, without the emotion, and sometimes I think we are hurt by it. So yeah, I think it's good. The last game was the last game without fans, and so I hope we have fans to come to May night game, and for next season I hope we can have a full house. Yeah.
The only shouting you hear is Connor Cody these days.
Yeah. But sometimes, you know, at the stand, we try to clap my hands very loud, try to give the players more encouragement, but still very lonely, you know.
Yeah, no, it's a lonely place. I've been to games, and it does feel lonely. Yeah. There's one question to finish with, which is George Freeth has asked, is there anything you'd want more from the fans to help you?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I said before, just sometimes, one thing I said yesterday, but I want to say it again. Just sometimes it's like my wife told me a good analogy. He said, like your partner living with you every day. So like, for example, my wife, so if she asks me, Jeff, do you love me? Maybe she will ask me every day, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Then try to be more convinced that you love me. So I think it's really like the fans here. So even I live in Wolverhampton, even I've been here for 5 years, they have still doubt when Fosun will leave us. You know, does the management know how to run a football club even after 5 years? And why someone left the club, and is that a disaster here, and whatever, you know. So I think I don't know whether or where the complaints or the negative thoughts came from, but go back to the analogy. It's like even you have a good connection between you and your partner, your fiancé, your wife, but they still ask you, do you love you? Do you love me, right? So now I understand that. But sometimes, you know, just I cannot say too much. I love it, because if I say it 1 million times, then it makes sense, because it
loses its impact.
It will be less and less convincing. So sometimes just know that, behold that, Jeff is here, and the club is running very normally, and nothing special, like a normal couple. You know, you do your job, I do my job. We come back to have dinner together, and whatever. You know, we help our children to go to school, and it's a normal life. It's not like a kind of very passionate love. Okay, you have to be together every day, and just like this. So now we have gone through that period for a honeymoon, right? Like this. Now we are like a normal couple. So from a club view, from myself view, I think I do hope we can go through the life more like a normal couple. I cannot say I love you for every day, but even I don't say that, it doesn't mean I do not love you. No, just we are still here. So sometimes it's like a mutual understanding. Yeah.
Going steady, that's the phrase they use here. A relationship that's going steady.
Yeah, you go steady. Just yeah, when you are 70s, 80s, you're old couples, right? So you don't hug every day, right? You don't kiss every day, right? So but you are still good couple.